Spurge here, and today we are going to break down the all-new Alpinestars Tech Air 10 airbag system. So this is the newest iteration from Alpinestars in their airbag protection. This is going to come in around the $1,000 price point and is going to sit just above the Tech Air 5. The Tech Air 5 system we saw come out a little over a year ago at this point for around the $750 price point. That's still a great system for those of you looking for just a competent airbag suit that's going to give you upper body protection. What is new about the Tech 10 is this is now going to include lower body protection as well. This is what we have seen at the MotoGP level on the track. Alpinestars truly is leading the airbag revolution, in my personal opinion. From an ease of use standpoint, from a comfort standpoint, this new Tech Air 10 is going to be something you can throw on, you can go for a ride, you can set it to street mode, you can set it to race mode if you're on the track, and you can get maximum protection and you can fine tune all of it. There's an app, and we're gonna break that all down in this video. So let's start off with sizing. Old Smiley Pants McHugh is over on my left-hand side, and hubba is he wearing this Tech Air 10. Extra small up to a 3XL in sizes. Pat is wearing this in an XL, typically wears his Alpinestars suit in a 56, and there's no surprises on sizing. The one thing that was a surprise was how comfortable Pat said that this suit fit him. He is 6 feet, weighs in at 220 pounds, and has a 44-inch chest. For your reference, if you're using that size chart, you really should have no surprises. When you're wearing the suit, you need to make sure that the garment you're wearing over top of it is sized appropriately. Really, the way Alpinestars explains this is you should have about 4 centimeters of room in the shoulders and the chest to accommodate for deployment, and about 2 centimeters of room in the hips of whatever pants you're wearing or race suit you're wearing to accommodate for deployment. Now, this is designed to be worn with the Tech Air compatible race suits from Alpinestars, but really you can use this with any race suit as long as you have that extra room. The one note here, and we were talking to some of the Alpinestars reps about this, one of the things that they've seen is that people are getting those Tech Air compatible suits with all that stretch built in, and they're sizing them very aggressively, and they're using up all that stretch material just wearing it without a race suit. So if you are gonna, or without an airbag suit, if you are gonna add the airbag system, you need to make sure the suit is appropriately sized to give you that little bit of extra room built in to accommodate the suit going off. Now, speaking of this Tech Air 10 going off, we are going to show you that a little bit later in the video. We're going to blow this bad boy up on Mr. McHugh, and you're going to watch him just puff up like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. Now, let's start off with some of the facts based on this, and then we'll get into the technology, and then we'll blow the thing up. So really what you're going to see here is coverage is now going to be around the shoulders, the chest, the back, a full back cover on this, as well as the hips. The hips are going to be the added piece here. You're going to notice that Pat's wearing a base layer long pant underneath this. Alpinestars is going to have a whole series of complement base layers you can wear. You're going to notice the suit itself stops right above the knee, and again, very comfortable, very stretchable. It's not going to feel bulky if you're wearing this underneath a race suit. The other fun fact about this is that the hard parts are removable, so you can actually wash the liner. So if you're out there doing a track day in the middle of July and you're getting all sweaty and funky, you can get home, you can take the base layer portion of this off, and you can wash that separate of all the real back technology that's working in here. Actually, McHugh, go ahead and face backwards for me for just 1 second so we can get a look at what this looks like out back. There is a full CE Level 2 back protector built into this. So even if the suit doesn't deploy, you've got a full CE Level 2 back protector, and you see the coverage goes all the way down to the back of the Cossacks, and you're going to see the 2 air canisters up in the top. Kind of works its way into a natural speed hump at the top of this. You can see the zippers on the side where that is removable, and you're going to have that USB-C port in here for fast charging, and you charge it straight through here. Now, the one big change here is that the suit is self-contained. There are no extra buttons or anything else that you have to push to activate it. McHugh, turn around. Really, the activation is built into the kidney belt. So the little sensor here is fully removable. This is just your indicator to let you know the suit is active. You can leave this Velcroed on there. You can take this off. You can strap it to the handlebar of your motorcycle. As long as it's within the vicinity of the suit itself, it will show you the indicator. But the suit is active. So the actual wires are built into the kidney belt. So as long as that kidney belt is closed, that means that the technology is working. You're going to have 24 hours of charge time. So I believe it's about 4 hours to charge it. On the first charge, it might take about 12 hours to fully charge, but then subsequent charges, 4 hours of charging gets you 24 hours of battery life. If you're in race mode, that is the most efficient, because with street mode, it stays on all the time. Race mode does stop working under 37 miles an hour. And again, we'll get into that in just a minute. The one note here is that if you're transporting the suit and you've charged it all night, you cannot make, the kidney belt cannot be touching. I was just touching your little belly there. The kidney belt cannot be touching. If the kidney belt is touching, it activates the suit, and you're potentially either going to drain the battery, or you could even possibly run the risk of the suit going off while it's in storage and you're moving. So just keep that in mind. You want to make sure the kidney belt is completely separate. That's the only thing, even when we were preparing for this video, we didn't realize it, but the kidney belt was touching when we had it on the rack. We came in to shoot, and then we had to like push pause and recharge it. So again, just something to note there. And then if you want to keep this on the suit itself, McHugh, go ahead, and that just Velcros right back on, and there's a little sensor that holds in there. The one note with this little piece is that as long as it's attached to the kidney belt, you'll notice that sensor in the back of it. The sensor in the back is for charging. So if you're charging the suit with that little sensor attached, it's going to charge the sensor for you as well. So there's a built-in battery there, and that's how you would charge it. So just make sure it's all put together when you're charging the suit. And it's, again, that USB-C charger. Now, what we're going to talk about for a second here is the actual technology itself. So really, when we break this down from a technology standpoint, McHugh, go ahead and face backwards for me. You're going to have 3 accelerometers and 1 gyroscope, each with 3 axes of measuring technology. The biggest change here are going to be the accelerometers that are baked into the shoulders on this. So you're going to have 2 accelerometers, 1 in each shoulder, and then 1 accelerometer in the pack itself, in the brains of the operation back here. And then that gyroscope is going to sit in the brains of the operation as well. So 4 total sensors. Now, what we're really going to be talking about, McHugh, you can go ahead and face forward for me. What we're really going to be talking about here is that you're going to have 1,000 little algorithms going per second. And then in an inflation standpoint, where this needs to inflate, depending on the size you're going with, inflation is going to be 20 to 40 milliseconds, and it's set to go. Now, if you're trying to figure out what 20 to 40 milliseconds feels like, if you blink, the average length of your blink is 190 milliseconds. So this will be inflated. You could inflate this possibly, 4 or 5 times in the length of 1 blink. So that gives you an idea of how fast this does happen. It measures all of those little movements when you're out there on the racetrack, and then you can go ahead and you can use this in conjunction with the Alpinestars app. Now, you have to have the phone on if you want to do all the tracking, but if you have the phone on your persons in the vicinity or mounted to the bike while you're riding, you can measure all that stuff in a cool little clean layout in the Alpinestars app for you. Now, from a charging perspective, like I said, it's 4 hours roughly to get 24 hours of charge time. And when you're thinking about what that really looks like is, you can get multiple track days out of 1 ride. I wouldn't recommend that. You can go ahead and charge it up before each track day. The other piece here is going to be race mode or street mode. So when you're in race mode, the suit will not deploy if you're going under 37 miles an hour. The idea here is that, if you're rolling into the paddock at 20 miles an hour and you have some little tip over, you don't want the suit to go off and you've blown one of your inflations with just a small little tip over that you really don't need that extra layer of protection. In street mode, the suit will go off even if you're at a complete stop. The idea here is that this will protect you if you're sitting at a stoplight and somebody rear ends you, or God forbid, you're going 15 miles an hour and you get hit. So you do want to make sure that if you are using this on the street, and we highly recommend the Tech Air system for street or track use the appropriate system. If you're on the racetrack, set it to race mode. You don't want this going off when you're just rolling through the paddock. And if you're on the street, if you are at a complete stop, you want to make sure that you are protected from an impact. So just make sure you're using the appropriate mode. Now, if the suit does deploy You get into a low side, you slide across the track, you walk up, you're safe, you're fine, and all of a sudden you now realize you need to have this deployed or repacked. One of the things that's really nice is that Alpinestars is making efforts to train people across the country to be able to do this at an actual track day, so you can have it deployed once, and in theory, once the system is up and rolling, you can head over to a vendor that's a certified Alpinestars vendor, and they can repack it for you, at the actual track. For those of you that are not so fortunate as to have an Alpinestars vendor at the track day with you, or if you deploy it on the street, you can mail it into Alpinestars. Turnaround is roughly 1 week, and you do have to have the canisters replaced. If you deploy it, it's roughly $200 to have the canisters replaced. They check the suit out. After 3 deployments, you do have to have the actual airbags replaced as well. So after 3 deployments, it's going to cost you about $400 to have the canisters replaced as well as the bags replaced. Now, the one note here is after 500 hours of use, or 2 years, whichever comes first, you should send it into Alpinestars just to have everything inspected. Typically, that is gonna, just check everything out. Everything's okay, they send it back to you. But they do recommend that maintenance check every 2 years or 500 hours of use. But again, really, the nice piece about this is that the cost of replacing canisters is coming down. It is getting to be a bit more affordable to do this, and really the inconvenience there of sending it off. The turnaround times are relatively quick, and Alpinestars is making the effort to have those people available at a track day to be able to replace that for you. So at this point, that's the nitty-gritty. I think it's time we inflate this. We're going to do it not live right here, but I'm going to snap my fingers and we're going to watch this go off, and you can see exactly how the system works. So let's go ahead on you want to count it down? You want to do a 3, 2, 1? All right, 3, 2, 1, and there you go. So you can see the suit inflates, you can see the airbag running across the back, the hips, the shoulders, as well as the chest. So really what we're seeing here is the most coverage from a suit that is available for the consumer market. So if you are looking for, top of the line airbag protection, the Alpinestars Tech Air 10, coming in around that $1,000 price point, is leading the way. Like I said, Alpinestars has been a leader, in my opinion, of airbag technology for the past few years, and I think this system, because it's standalone, you can wear this under your existing suit, you can wear this under different brand suits, or you can wear this with a Tech Air compatible suit with all that stretch built in. This is really going to be a leader for those of you that are looking for airbag protection, whether you're just looking for something for your street rides or you're looking for something to get you maximum protection on the racetrack. And this is, again, that evolution over what we saw with the Tech Air 5, which was introduced a few years back at this point. So really exciting to see what Alpinestars is doing with this technology. If you're not sure which airbag setup is right for you, right for your riding gear, right for your riding style, you can always click the info button on your desktop or mobile device. That will allow you to read other rider reviews from folks that are already out there in the real world using this technology. And if you're still not sure as to which setup is right for you, you can always reach out to one of our customer service representatives, and they'll walk you through all the different airbag setups and tracksuit configurations to make sure you have the right protection for the speeds in which you are traveling on a motorcycle. I want to thank you for joining us for this look today at the Alpinestars Tech Air 10. Thank you, Mr. McHugh, for being our gullible model once again. I'm Spurge. Enjoy the ride.